Leah, can we just start with a thought on the series, and it's finally here, you guys have been working hard to get here.
Yeah, it's obviously exciting. It's an exciting day. It's nice to start at home. You work all season towards essentially this game going forward here, right? So, yeah, good feeling in the group. Feeling good about our game. So, yeah, it'll be a good series.
Can you learn anything from the series against Chicago and the series against Winnipeg? Moving into this series, or is that just in the past and there's nothing?
That's in the past. We didn't do what we needed to do in those series, and we learned from it, and we'll move on.
It's important not to get too high and too low in these series, because obviously there's going to be swings both ways, I guess. And is that one of the keys, just to kind of try and stay on even keel throughout the series?
Yeah, it's key. There's going to be momentum swings. You're going to lose a shift. You're going to lose potentially a game. You're going to go up a game. You're going to score on the power play. There's all these things that are going to happen. And I think it's important for our group to just stay even keel, like you said.
Hey, Leon, can you maybe discuss how different this year's team is with the additions of Kane, Hyman, and Fogle on the left wing, and just how much, where you guys are at with the added depth up front?
Yeah, it obviously gives us a lot more options than maybe in the past, a lot more depth for us as a group, a lot more depth for Woody to work with. So, there's three really good players, three players that have been in the playoffs, that have kind of done this whole rodeo. So, yeah, it'll be nice to have a little bit of experience, in our group in the dressing room. So, yeah, I think we're just excited to get going.
Leah, in the playoffs, of course, it's the same team all the time, so you focus just on them, and the matchups become a bigger thing. Do you get more excited? Like, you're likely going to be up against Kopitar or Deneau, most likely, you and Connor. Do you invest more? Like, do you scout more yourself on guys and their tendencies in a playoff series than maybe you would in the regular, playing different guys all the time?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously it's, I think every play is a little more important right now. Every shift is a little more important. So, yeah, you focus on the guys that you match up against, of course, but I don't think you want to overdo it either, right? You want to stick to what you're good at, whatever Connor and I are good at. So stick to that, and everything else will fall into place.
And Jay has, in games a lot, some games when you're playing 11, there's different line combinations. Do you like that at times? Like, there's still the main set that you start with, but you're going different shifts. As a player, do you like the nuances and just the unique matchups that you get when sometimes you're with Connor, then maybe the next shift you're with Hyman and Yamamoto, and then it's Puljujärvi? Like that as a player?
Yeah, I think there's nights where you probably like it, and then there's other nights where you don't much, but we're so deep up front that it really doesn't matter who you're on the ice with, right? They're all great players. They all make the right plays most of the time. Sometimes it's nice to get a rhythm going with your own line, but there's also nothing wrong with being on the ice with someone else.
This is your third year in a row coming to the playoffs for this team. That hasn't happened for a while. So whether you won in the past or lost in the past, what are the things that make you feel better about being here and now? What are the things that a few runs at the playoffs leaves you calmer and perhaps more confident?
Well, I think, first of all, our depth is just, it's just better, I think. And we have players that have kind of been there, they've done it, they got experience, and also learning from those experiences we had the last couple of years, right? We all know we weren't happy with how it ended. We all kind of tried to learn from it and take the next step, right? So we got to show that in this series.
What about sort of, like, there's always anticipation, right? I've heard many players say you should be a little nervous. Maybe compare your feeling this morning to your feeling, maybe the morning of the playoffs starting in 17. Are you a different competitor today than you were then?
I was probably more nervous in 2017. It was my first playoffs. But there's going to be some nerves, of course. There's going to be a little bit of nervousness on both sides. Obviously, you get a couple shifts to kind of get rid of it and get right back into your game. So, it's an exciting day. You know, obviously we haven't had fans in the playoffs for a long time, so I'm sure it'll be a pretty good atmosphere.
That was my question, Leon. So the missing variable the last 2 years has been fans in the building. What do you expect, and what do you remember from 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think it's going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy. You know, you could sense in 2017 that the people enjoy and love playoff hockey here, right? And so do we as players. So we're all looking forward to it. You know, we obviously need our fans. You know, we've been playing really well at home, and they've been a big part of that. They push us and they stick to us. So yeah, we're excited to get going.
Leon, you mentioned the Checkers before, Kopitar. What have you learned from Kopitar? I think you're on the same team back in the World Cup, were you?
Yeah. I mean, I was a different player at that time, right? I was young, but it's just a good guy. You know, really handles himself the right way. You know, obviously on ice, he's a really good player as well. So yeah, it'll be fun going up against him.
Thanks.